What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. And for those of you who are new, welcome. This channel is dedicated to talking about our love for sports cards, other alternative assets, as well as just having fun in general. So welcome, and if you haven't subscribed yet, feel free to do that at your own willingness. In today's video, I wanted to cover the Topps Chrome 2020 F1 Sapphire box. It's a mouthful. And decide if this is a good investment, a good wax to keep or to break with your friends. And we'll go into the details of why I think it is or it is not a good investment. So let's get started. Today's video is sponsored by Sapphire. Make sure to have your awesome, amazing sports card collection, protected in the right way. Sapphire offers anti-humidity cases to protect your collection from greening, from kind of discoloration to fading, and all of the above. They also offer custom case stickers and custom boxes for logos of your choice. So make sure to check out their website. I'll leave the link below, protectyourslab.com, and protect all your sports cards. And feel free to use my code SHECOLLECTS for 10% off your final price. All right, let's get started. So TLDR, my recommendation for this 2020 Topps Chrome Sapphire F1 wax is a buy. I think it's a pretty decent investment, or a decent rip as well if you like opening boxes. And here are 3 reasons for it. Number one, the box price is actually pretty decent. Right now it's going for about $650 on eBay. So that's like, if you wanted to get one today and you don't have a local shop, you could probably pay $650 and get one shipped to you right away. And why that's a good price in my opinion is that the entry point is not as high as like basketball, soccer, football, in my opinion, even though this is like a Sapphire product. And you might be thinking, like, hey, that's still expensive. And I completely agree, it's very expensive. But relative to some of these other sports, major sports, it's still sort of like affordable, and you're able to purchase it without having it, going up to 4 digits, right? So from that perspective, when it first released, I think it was going for about $700, maybe a little bit more. But now it has come down to $650, which is a decent spot. If you love ripping, with your friends, I think splitting it, 4 or 5 ways may not be a terrible idea too. And it's just a really fun rip. I ripped the entire case. If you haven't seen the video yet, I'll link it up here with a friend, and that I had such a blast ripping through some of these boxes. So yeah, from an entry price point perspective, it's not as bad as, or it's not as high as some of the other waxes that we've seen in the market. Number 2 reason why I think that the 2020 Topps Chrome Sapphire F1 box is a decent investment is that when you pull, let's say, like base Lewis Hamilton, so the card number for this is 1. If you pull a base, Sapphire Lewis Hamilton, you can sell that card right away for $500 on eBay. You don't have to get it graded. You can just put it in, top loader, and send it off to someone for $500, which is, obviously you're not recouping your entire cost of the box. But if you add in, let's say, $100 into that experience as, hey, I'm having fun, I would pay $100 to rip a box or whatever, and you pull nothing else, you're still making about 75% back from ripping this box. So, from, I don't know what the exact statistics are in pulling a Lewis Hamilton base on this is, but if you do, you're already 75% there. So from that perspective, I haven't seen that yet. If you look at basketball, you have like, the prisms, the 2019, 18, and 2020 prisms. Even if you pull Luka, Trey, Zion, John Morant, who else is there? LaMelo Ball. You don't recoup 75% of the box's cost. So from that ratio perspective, I think it's a very healthy one. So, obviously you're going to pull a lot of other cards as well in your break. And so I think it's a decent rip if you like F1. Additionally, if you, end up pulling a Lewis Hamilton, let's say, base variation. So this is the one where he's sitting down and kind of like posing at the camera. If you pull that, you're actually going to be on top of your original cost. So these cards are going for $800, and all the card prices I'm mentioning here are raw, mind you, so none of them are graded, right? So right off the bat, you pull a Lewis Hamilton variation base, not a refractor, just a regular Sapphire, then you're already at $800, being able to recoup your entire cost. So from that perspective, again, it's not as much of a gamble where you have to pull a purple refractor or, you know, a 70th anniversary or something like that to recoup your costs, but you're already breaking even, more than breaking even, by pulling a variation, which again is very hard to pull. I think the numbers are obviously not public, but the chances are pretty low. But if you do, you know, you're already on top and you're having fun. Last and third, you know, I want to mention that these cards are being circulated mostly in raw form, which means that there's a lot of potential for these cards to get graded. But, you know, one caveat is that the print quality for these Topps Chrome and Topps Chrome Sapphire F1 have not been the greatest. It's really hit or miss. So I think getting a PSA 10 or PSA 9 even is going to be really, really hard on these cards. So when you pull a great card in good condition without, you know, nicks and, you know, chips, I do think that getting it graded and holding it will, you know, or even selling it will, you know, pay out for you more than, you know, what you have initially put in of $650 to break the wax. And so from that perspective, I do think there's an opportunity to grade the card and sell it for, you know, if you want to sell it, obviously, for more than what you bought it for, what you bought the wax for. I think that opportunity is there. And then last but not least, fourth, one big, I think, advantage, and this is 100% hypothesis from me, of, you know, whether it's ripping or keeping and stashing away these 2020 Topps Chrome F1 Sapphire boxes, is that, you know, this is the first year that Topps produced something for F1. Topps Now is another product that they released beforehand, but obviously Topps, you know, Chrome Sapphire being, you know, top of the, you know, line, I mean, I do think there's value in that. And so, you know, when you're producing this as Topps, you know, for the first year, would you, you know, mass produce it, or would you kind of, you know, limit your print runs to see what the demand will look like? You know, obviously F1 having gone mainstream through Netflix and other social media platforms, I think the demand definitely rose over the last couple months. But I think at the time of production, I don't think Topps was aggressive in thinking that F1 was going to be super successful. And so, in my opinion, again, 100% my opinion, I do think there is that factor of, you know, limited edition. Obviously, being first year also helps, but also just limited quantity in general is going to help with this product, or you know, down the line, if you choose to keep you know, the product sealed, or even, you know, you break them but you decide to keep it, right? So those are the reasons why I do think that breaking or keeping them sealed, the Topps Chrome Sapphire F1 boxes, you know, is a decent deal. And, you know, obviously there's you know, going to be opportunities for you to make money and also lose money depending on what you pull. Those are what we live for, right? To pull your greatest card. So that's not guaranteed, but in general, if you look at just holistically on the box, I do think it's a better investment, a better box to break if you love F1, of course, and you watch the game. It's even better, like I do every Sunday. That's why I think it's a decent wax to break, if you are kind of debating that right now. So that's all I have for you today. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. That was awesome.